The courthouse hallway felt colder than December outside. I stood there, holding the papers that would end 8 years of marriage, and all I could think about was our third date. When Derek brought me soup at midnight because I mentioned I wasn't feeling well, that man seemed like a lifetime ago. My name is Melissa Grant. Today, I signed divorce papers, and immediately afterward, I made 15 phone calls that would change everything. Let me take you back 6 months. It started with a receipt. Not lipstick on a collar, just a crumpled receipt from a jewelry store, tucked in Derek's gym bag. A receipt for a diamond bracelet I never received. Some women might have confronted him right then. I've learned that knowledge is power, and silence can be your greatest weapon. I hired a private investigator, not for revenge. At least, that's what I told myself. I needed to know the truth. The whole truth. Her name was Vanessa Pierce. Beautiful, ambitious, 29 years old. They'd been together for 18 months. 18 months of lies, of working late, of business trips that were really romantic getaways. But here's what broke me. Derek had proposed to her. While still married to me, he'd gotten down on one knee and promised her forever. They were planning a wedding for the spring, a $75,000 wedding. I could have screamed. I could have thrown things. Instead, I did something much more calculated. I waited. I documented everything. I met with Jordan Hayes, my lawyer and one of my oldest friends, and we built a case so airtight that Derek wouldn't see it coming. During those months, I played the perfect wife. I smiled at dinner parties. I kissed him goodbye each morning. And every night, while he thought I was sleeping, I was transferring assets, closing joint accounts, protecting everything I'd worked for. You see, Derek didn't know that I'd been the one managing our investments. He didn't realize that the household account he thought held $20,000 actually held $300,000. And I'd moved every penny to a secure account in my name only. The day I filed for divorce was a Tuesday, ordinary and quiet. Derek was at work when the papers were served. By the time he read them, I'd already frozen our joint credit cards, all 15 of them, the cards he'd been using to finance his double life. My phone rang 37 times. That afternoon, I answered once. How could you do this? Derek's voice was shaking. How could I? I kept my voice steady, calm. I'm not the one who proposed to someone else while wearing a wedding ring. Silence. Then, Melissa, please, we can work this out. I made a mistake. No, Derek. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. What you did was make a choice. Every single day for 18 months, you chose to lie to me. The credit cards. Melissa, I have expenses. The wedding, and there it was. Not an apology, not remorse. Just worry about his plans with her. The wedding you're planning. With Vanessa? I let the name hang in the air. The $75,000 celebration of your love? I imagine that's going to be difficult now. I hung up before he could respond. Jordan called an hour later, barely containing his laughter. He's panicking. His lawyer just contacted me. He wants to negotiate. What does he want? Half of everything. The house. Your retirement account. He's claiming he's entitled to spousal support because you out-earn him. I smiled. Tell him we'll see him in court. Here's what Derek didn't know. I'd been tracking every dollar he spent on Vanessa. Every hotel room, every gift, every romantic dinner. In our state, that's considered dissipation of marital assets. Every penny he spent on his affair could be counted against him in the divorce. The preliminary hearing was 3 weeks later. I walked into that courtroom in a red dress, the same shade of red I wore on our wedding day. I wanted him to remember what he'd thrown away. Derek's lawyer presented their case first. They painted me as a controlling wife who had frozen assets out of spite. They claimed Derek had been a devoted husband who'd made one mistake and deserved a second chance. Then Jordan stood up. Your Honor, I'd like to present evidence of Mr. Grant's activities over the past 18 months. One by one, Jordan laid it out. Hotel receipts, jewelry store records, text messages Derek had carelessly left in cloud storage, photos from romantic trips taken while he'd told me he was at business conferences, and then, the finale, proof that Derek had proposed to another woman. Not just the engagement ring receipt, but photos from the proposal itself, Posted on Vanessa's private social media account. I watched the color drain from Derek's face. Watched his lawyer lean over and whisper frantically in his ear. Watched the judge's expression shift from neutral to distinctly unimpressed. But the moment that broke him, Jordan projected a spreadsheet onto the screen. Every dollar Derek had spent on his affair, categorized and totaled. $143,000 of marital funds, used to wine and dine another woman while I'd been saving for our future. The judge called a recess. 20 minutes later, Derek's lawyer approached Jordan with a new offer. Derek would accept my terms. No contest. He'd take his personal belongings and his car. I'd keep the house, my retirement accounts, and he'd be responsible for all joint debts. In the hallway afterward, Derek tried one last time. Melissa, please, can we just talk? I looked at the man I'd loved for 8 years. The man who'd held my hand through my father's funeral. The man who'd promised me forever and meant it for someone else. There's nothing left to say, Derek, except this. I hope she was worth it. He reached for my arm. I never meant to hurt you. It just happened. No. I pulled away gently but firmly. You didn't slip and fall into an affair. You made choices. Every text message, every lie, every moment you planned a future with her while coming home to me. Those were choices. What about forgiveness? What about the life we built? I do forgive you, Derek. Not for you. For me. Because carrying anger would only hurt me, and you've hurt me enough. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean giving you another chance to betray me. I turned to walk away, then paused. By the way, you might want to check in with Vanessa. I sent her copies of all the evidence from the case, including the texts where you told her you were going to leave me as soon as the time was right. She called me this morning. Turns out, she thought you were already divorced. She didn't know you were still living with me, still sharing my bed. The look on his face was almost worth the pain of the last 6 months. Almost. 3 months later, I'm standing in the living room of my house. My house now. The divorce is final. Derek is living in a small apartment across town. Vanessa, I heard, returned the engagement ring and moved to another state. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Jordan. Dinner to celebrate your freedom? I smile and type back. Absolutely. As I get ready, I catch my reflection in the mirror. I look different somehow. Lighter, stronger. The weight of betrayal has lifted, replaced by something I didn't expect. Peace. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But this wasn't revenge. This was justice. This was a woman who refused to be destroyed by betrayal, who took back her power, and who walked away with her dignity intact. Derek wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Instead, he lost everything, and me? I gained something more valuable than any settlement. I gained myself back. The woman in the red dress who signed those papers. She's just beginning her next chapter, and this time, she's writing it alone, on her own terms, with wisdom earned through pain and strength forged